So I just wanted to talk about something like a little bit more offhand, but like in preparation for this, I know that Gally had advised us to go watch like Moneyball and Screwball, and then the one do you remember the documentary the documentary with Doc, the one that pitched the perfect, I think it was the perfect game on LSD or
On
something.
LSD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So everybody knows about that in pro
So
baseball.
crazy.
I'm
that was a
not
different
like,
time.
yeah, I was about to say, he said the exact same thing. He was like, man, it was a different time. So
They
like,
were they weren't just on LSD. They were like,
oh,
what they back then they called them greenies.
yeah, that's what he
It's, it's,
said.
it's
Yeah.
basically, it's basically Adderall.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so so he had like a lot of suggestions to like get into the sport, and like I got really interested in it, so I decided to go watch Moneyball. It's something that I was like really interested in because like I don't know, like coming from like a science background, and everything like that, So I guess for the viewers there that haven't seen it, and I'm sure, have you seen it, Nick? Moneyball.
Yeah, I've seen all three of those.
Yeah, there you go. See, so and that's his job. He has to go do it, right? So, but you guys, it's not your job, but you should go do it anyway. So, Moneyball. The idea behind it is that it's based on sabermetrics pioneered by Bill James, and it was adopted in this movie by Billy Bean with the Oakland A's. And so they wanted to use like concepts in economics. Basically, they were saying this: the Oakland A's had a small wallet, right? They were not able to go out and purchase players or like buy contracts for players that were like, in comparison to say the New York Yankees, they literally had like 3 or 4 times less the budget than the A's had, right? Or the Yankees had. So the A's had to go out there and get like really cost efficient players, right? Analytics, using concepts of economics and like basically statistics to basically change the game, right? And so I guess my question to you would be, Nick, and I know maybe I don't, maybe like you're not necessarily involved in the team building aspect of that, but like how do you use analytics or statistics when you're in there? Like do you like say like this hitter likes to hits this pitch like better this amount of percentage of times or something like that? Are you aware of these kind of things going into it?
Yeah, we can go down the rabbit hole with this one, but
Oh shit.
yeah, I like the Astros. We're like the leading organization for all data driven
Brains, brother.
technologies. And we we'll
Brains.
hire we'll hire pitching coaches who've never played before
There. Wow.
and just
Incredible.
like are very good with analyzing data and some of them aren't very good at translating, but most of them they
Huh.
do a really good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I'm thankful for being with the Astros
Mm-hmm.
for cause I've been with them since 2016. So I've throughout the years
Bless up.
when they started. That's about when they started data driven,
Yeah.
like all that stuff using technology.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you ever heard of TrackMan. They used it in golf. They
Mm.
started using that in baseball,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and yeah, like I've learned a lot. Like I'll be talking to other pitchers like my age and telling about like, and they have no idea what I'm talking about, like
Insane.
with pitch development, all that stuff. And
Mm.
it's very good. It's definitely because it takes the guessing out of baseball.
Hey, there you
And,
go. Okay, I
and
like
and
that.
it's so I could be working on a pitch
Mm-hmm.
all year long in the off season
Mhm.
and show up to spring training, throw it on the track man that tells me how I'm spinning it, how many RPMs,
Mm-hmm.
spin axis, the vertical brake, the horizontal brake, all
Jesus.
that stuff, and it be, hey, this isn't gonna play. So
Wow.
if I'm not using that technology to analyze the pitch
Yeah.
in the very beginning, then I'm just wasting my time, wasting those reps
Right.
working on the pitch. So it
Mhm.
definitely plays a huge part.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's
and
amazing. Okay.
yeah, I could talk about this forever, but it's definitely very helpful. But I also think you want to have both.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you want to have the guys
With the feel for
and
it, the instincts for it, the intuition for it, right?
instincts, the primitive instincts, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
having both of them is like is ideal.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
having the brains to be like, hey, look at these
yeah,
numbers.
the
This is how
brains
we should be.
too.
Yeah, the optimal way to
You
play
need
it, right?
someone to be able to take that data
Yeah.
and all the stats too with
Mm-hmm.
hitters. So say this hitter he destroys low and inside fastballs,
Okay.
but he can't hit low and away fastballs or high and away fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
So all the data comes together and it shows me like a heat map on where to throw the ball to that guy.
Ah, look at you with your
So
mental
I
heat
don't
map. There you go.
exactly all I have my job is just to study that map, memorize it, and say, all right, for that guy, just don't throw the ball there, and I'll be fine.
Mm,
And so that's why
that's
it helps.
incredible.
It's so helpful.
That's
So
incredible.
I love it. I love it.
Wow, 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 wow.
Um, but I think a lot of guys too, they try to like they don't they kind of pitch to cater
Yeah.
to those analytics
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
and lose themselves in the process.
Yep.
And
It's too cold. There's too much data. It's too cold. It's not the real situation.
yeah, you want to find that
The
perfect
balance.
balance.
The balance. There you go.
That comes with a lot of game awareness, to be honest, right?
Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah. Right. Gotta be.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
I'm thankful to be because I know both sides now.
mhm,
Hmm.
I definitely can't write some algorithms and write some code
mhm.
to but I can you
But
can show me like TrackMan data and I
Yeah,
can
but you damn well know the results of it, right? Like you know
yeah
what's the best way to do it, right? Like you don't have to have written the effing equation. You just have to be able to follow it for sure, right? Like and and that's just the way it goes with it, right? Like you
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. And that's the way, I like it.
execute. It comes down to again comes down to execution at the end of the day. But like having that pocket of your knowledge is like it's just another weapon, I guess, right?
yeah and it's good to know too because I get pitching lessons
Yeah,
and
there
I
you
have a
go.
rap
All right.
and I have a rap soda. Rap soda is like a cheaper version of TrackMan
Okay.
and it shows up on the iPad the pitch and all that stuff and I can translate all that data to the pitcher and tell
That's
him like
amazing.
what his strengths are, what he needs to work on, and yeah,
That's crazy. So
I see
basically,
a
what
lot of guys who
you're telling me you could teach me how to pitch, right? Like that's what you're trying to tell me.
I don't know about that.
Oh shit.
You can try. You never know.
I was
That's
hoping I
true.
could.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was hoping I could
Quick
break into the
one.
big leagues at age 30, but
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
All right. So another question we had is like, because Gally mentioned like these days, man, for pitchers, like there's sometimes on different teams they got like multiple people throwing 100-mile fastballs or like speeds, basically.
Speed. I am speed. I eat losers for breakfast.
Yeah, I wish I knew those guys.
I mean, everybody has their strengths, right? You know your strengths, right? I was gonna say like, is that like the development of what the baseball pitching meta is going toward? It's just like pure speed. Are we losing out on some of the like how do I say it? I'm not a baseball guy, but like the variety, like being able to like fool somebody or like play the mind games, right?
So one of the ways that we were talking about is kind of like this cold data thing, right? Like we were just talking about. And I hope being a Houston guy, are you a Rockets fan? Are you?
I watch them sometimes.
Yeah, right. So like they're under
I'm
like
really watch
they,
over everyone else.
yeah, like so this era is gone, but there was like the Morey ball era, right? Like the whole Daryl Morey era with James Harden and stuff, right? Where they like curved into this idea that 3-pointers are often always worth more than 2-pointers, right? So like the idea behind that whole basketball NBA thing was like, why don't we just shoot a whole bunch of threes, get a whole bunch of free throws, right? Basically reduce it down to like the most efficient parts of the game analytically, right? And then get the players at the cost efficient levels to build a team that way, right? So based on this, like there's a sort of like meta developing. I don't, like like a meta, right? Like
Metaverse.
yeah, metaverse, but like a meta that develops just like in video games, just like in like sports. Like there's a way to play that is the most optimal or efficient, and then other teams and players will adopt that method, right? So then I don't know, like so in your opinion, is there like a meta shift? Like should you see like there being like a correlation in games or like in like baseball or whatever? Like what kind of like things can you see in maybe both of these that that are like meta like changes? Like what do you think?
Charlie horse.
You hate to see it.
Oh, we're good.
Tense conversation.
Cap.
Yeah.
Cap.
Oh, the baseball.
Yeah.
Cap.
Yeah, it's definitely because everyone tries to hit home runs now. You know,
Okay.
don't hit the ball on the ground. Hit home runs.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna strike out a lot. Pitching is a little different.
Okay.
Especially like spin kind of counters that. Spinning the ball well counters that. Like breaking stuff. Velo will always play, but there's definitely to the scouting part, the data-driven stuff is really good for scouting because you can have a guy throwing 98 miles per hour, but I mean it's not a very good 98. It's like flat.
I see.
The vertical break isn't high. It runs right into barrels, you know? And then you have a guy who's throwing like 93 or 94, but he's got hop.
I see.
A lot of teams are taking the guy that's throwing 93, 94 with a lot of hop or vertical break or whatever you want to call it over the guy. Back in the day, though, they would take the 98 guy every time. And they didn't know when they were guessing, you know? But like you said, the meta part, yeah, the game is heading. Baseball right now is big ball, like home runs, and I mean it also sells too. Like you don't want to see a game with a bunch of ground balls. You want to see guys hitting bombs.
Yeah, you want to see dunks and 3-pointers. You want to see home runs. You want to see grand slams. You want to see Hail Marys. You want to see the big plays, right? Like that's kind of like where it's going.
Yeah, and a lot of people think they were juicing the balls, which
shit,
probably were. I mean, juicing the balls like making them a little harder so they travel further and harder.
Deflate game.
Better exit velo. And that's what sells tickets, you know. You guys remember the Astros Dodgers World Series?
Which
2017.
17, yeah.
2017.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they juiced the balls for that World Series, and there's people that I knew never watched baseball. They were loving the game, and they were really just locked in on that World Series because there's so many home runs.
Crazy.
In this way, would you say like that was kind of like good for the game? Because I know it's like okay, like in football, the Deflategate, like while Tom Brady was there in Patriots, right? It was like compromise. It's not like there was entertainment value that got better. It's like they could win. They could maybe improve their chance at winning, right? But in this scenario, where you said like the balls were juiced for like both sides, and they were just hitting more home runs. Yeah. They were just hitting more home runs in general. Do you think that was like good for? I don't know how to even say this, but like good for the game.
Good for the game.
Huh?
Yeah, I think it's great for the game.
Yeah, okay.
Just because more home runs. I mean, it sucks to be a pitcher doing it, but you don't want it. Also, when you juice those balls, they're a little harder. Once they get harder, they're a little slicker.
Okay.
So if you're a pitcher, if you don't have any grip of the ball, like you could hurt someone, you know. Like you could. So you also got to put that in perspective too. Like,
so you had to get used to like throwing juiced balls in a sense, if it were you.
Yeah.
So I guess like so I'm more of an NBA watcher. Sorry, I like baseball, but I don't watch it so much. But
NANI?
Disgusting!
So I watch a lot of basketball, and like the way that the meta has been developing in that game is it's like all offense, and like the defense has like a really hard time to adapt because like, you know, everybody kind of like quote unquote likes offense more, is more interesting, right? But like so like there's like a defender's disadvantage now, right? Like you touch somebody and it's a foul, right? Or like I guess for the pitchers, like if there's juiced balls, then it's like, well shit, we might be throwing homers left and right on accident, right? Like just which wouldn't be a thing before, right?
Yeah, and getting a home run hit off you, it sucks. It's just
man.
like
It's that worst feeling.
Absolute dagger to your ego.
Ooh.
So yeah, you definitely got to be mentally tough for.
I would love to stop you right there and talk a little bit more about that. And I know that kind of sucks, but say you get like a homer hit on you or whatever, right? Like how do you recover from that? Like it burns, right? So you're just like, yeah. What do you do?
I kind of just allow myself to motherfuck myself a little bit on the mound.
Yeah.
And And then you got to reset and you got to say, so what, next pitch? Like,
I got.
so what, next pitch?
That's
like,
strong. That's strong.
you're still out there. Like,
Yep.
like you still got to compete
Yep.
and finish the inning.
Yep.
Like no one's going to come out there and save you. That's why I think pitching is great for the mental, because it's like that mound, it's just you and you're out there alone. No one's going to come save you. You better compete.
So allow yourself to cry for a second, and then just say, like, no one's coming to save you. You got to finish this, right? Like, go back up there, right? Yeah, okay. So
I think I think pitching teaches some good life lessons, because I remember.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I remember back in like when I was like 12 years old, pitching, just getting my teeth kicked in out there, and feeling sorry for myself, and then having my dad like teach me, like, you got to compete, like, you can't feel sorry for, and then you just learn how to grow out of it, like, and that happens with life. Like, you're gonna get your teeth kicked in, like, how you react.
Yeah,
That's fair.
There you go.
Actually, now that you mentioned your dad, I was gonna say maybe he can kind of like agree with this comment or this quote. Is talent you make bloom, instincts you polish.
Oh my god!
Okay, and like, in my opinion, like, maybe you were more talented at the high, like, early on, like, for sure at the high school level, right? But as you said, everybody starts becoming the same, like, everyone's bigger, faster, stronger, whatever in college, right? And then it becomes your mind that comes to the next level, right? So for your talent level, what did you end up like favoring as your secret weapon when you were young to like start polishing?
Dude, honestly, man, I had a lot. I had my talent is kind of like more, I don't know, it is more like coordination and like doing stuff, like being athletic, just like kind of getting the job done somehow.
Okay.
Like for instance, like basketball, I was good at like creating space and driving to the hole.
Right.
I'm slow. Like, you guys could probably burn me in a sprint. Like, there was one 60-yard, and like, I'm embarrassed to say this. Like, I ran a 60-yard in high school. It was against the wind, so it was gonna be slow. It was like a 9.5.
Interesting.
Slow. But my fastest one was like 7.4.
Okay, no.
That's not that fast. That's not that fast. That was
solid. It's solid.
We take your best here.
Dude,
We
no
take
one
your
needs to
best
know
here.
that.
No, yeah. Hey, cut it. Cut the feed. Cut the feed. They don't have to hear that part. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't blessed with like fast twitch, which goes a long way with pitching. But I always had like a little bit of coordination, and like I can make plays like in the infield.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Like I was good at just reacting. Like, I had that instinct reacting. Another thing I was good at like working. Like,
there you go.
Just, dude, and in high school I had a bucket of balls, and I had a mound, and I had a target, and I would be out there all day just trying to perfect the craft.
Is that you, or a little bit of your dad, or like you and your brother? I don't know.
My dad, I wouldn't be here unless it was with my dad helped me. I wouldn't like. Well, one, he provided I don't know if you ever heard of the baseball house.
Oh yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, we had that. We had that. Like, I had a backyard at the baseball house. I had a mound, and I could go there and throw every day. So I was able to train. But you could do that you can find ways to train without like go to a park, whatever. But the convenience of the training was great. And then he never really played. He played in high school, like for like JV, and then but what he did, he was really good at learning and researching, and he would do the research and put in the work and learn, and then he would teach it to me, and he was good at teaching too.
Pass it on to you.
He still helps me to this day. We talk about pitching all the time, like over text. Like, it's brought us very close over the years, but yeah, that's one of the things I'm good at is working, putting in the work.
I gotta ask you, Mike, are you tilted?
I'm tilted. Nick, are you tilted?
We're tilted.